right people come together at the right moment, when they care almost as much about winning as they do about each other, they can become the best of the best.
Welcome to the best soccer show, the best soccer show in the whole world.
Here we go. It's the best soccer show. Jason Davis. Jared Dubois is back in the building, everybody.
What up, baby?
Round of applause.
Round of applause for JTT coming in on short notice. I mean, it was really short notice too. Like, I can't believe you got him that quick.
He was like, "Do you want me to come on?" And I said, "You know the way, John. You know the way. You just push the button, and you can be here with me and talk about soccer." I mean, you know me. I'm more than capable of hosting the show all by myself. I've done things like that. Did you know that I used to have a radio show where I was
your own
by myself? By myself.
Just asking ended questions for 2 hours.
Basically, yeah. Well, 3 hours at one point. They gave me
my bad.
They were like, "You're asking so many questions to yourself that need answers." And then they were like, "Nah, this sucks. No more. Now you got to work with Eric Ronaldo every day." And that's fine. That's fine. No, Eric and I are good. I think that shows
he's got all the answers to all the questions.
But, first loves and all that. So we're here. It is Wednesday. It's the best soccer show. You know how we do this. I don't know. This is year, 35 of this show? Honestly, what year are we on?
I mean, how old's my kid about to turn? I think that's it, like 16.
Yeah, I mean, you hear my kid when he was like 5 in the beginning of this show. He is now.
I was listening the other day. I was listening to an old show. I don't know. Someone posted a link of there. I don't know if you did or one of the besties did in the Patreon. And by the way, if you're interested in the Patreon, how you can get that?
Oh, patreon.com/the best soccer show to become a bestie and join.
I have to ask. I actually don't know, but yeah. So someone put it, and I was listening to our old open. I missed the old open, the Rock, Sean Connery.
You know, I could bring it back. Do you know why should we tell that tale? Should we explain why that got dropped?
It was God, I even forgot that there was a reason. I thought for some reason we just stopped, but now you mentioned it.
This actually ties in with some modern, some current day things that are happening in American soccer media.
Go ahead.
Okay, so that original open, which a lot of people know. Oh, look, we're getting to bring it back. It's from The Rock. It is Sean Connery talking to Nicolas Cage, and there's a discussion about the best, and the best, they go home and they bleep the prom queen, right? That's what he says. Winners, maybe that's what it was. You're gonna do your best. Winners will go home.
He's Scottish, not freaking from the east side of London.
I can do a Sean Connery too. It's just not happening with right at the best swords for $400, like that. That's what we do. You're bashed. So he says this, and we had in the open because it says best for years, like a decade, right? It was a decade.
Probably about that, yeah.
And then, I don't remember what year it was. It was right after we had come back. Like we were on a hiatus. There was a little bit of burnout, some life stuff.
We're doing a little bit of JD and Rod trying to bring it back because we weren't sure if we were going to call it this or not.
Yeah, we didn't know if we could have the name and that kind of thing, and we weren't sure about it. And then 4 Soccer Ventures launched. 4 Soccer Ventures, which he was still around, but at the time was thinking we want to get in the podcast game.
Yeah.
And one of the guys that was a part of 4 Soccer Ventures is John Parker. John Parker, a guy still
long time listener to the show.
Yeah, he was a fan of the best soccer show. In addition to being involved with
the show in a way.
Involved with Striker Partners, which was Richie Graham's group, which had a minority stake in the Union, which is a big driving force behind the YSC Academy, which is the reason why Brennan Aronson is balling out at Leeds United right now. That's how I'm going to connect those dots. So John Parker recruited us to be part of 4 Soccer Ventures. And in that, where it was like, well, maybe you guys need to refine things a little bit. Maybe that's a little too aggressive. Maybe it's a little too, I don't know what's the word?
Unmarketable?
That's the word. I almost fell backwards in my seat. I was so
excited. What the hell is that?
I do this thing where I
Oh yeah,
I have
you
a
don't
stool.
sit on it. For people who don't know, he has no back on what he's sitting on.
No, there's a small back. It's in the small of my back. It's a small back. I don't have a gamer chair or whatever you're sitting in.
Exactly
I'm not a degenerate.
It's comfortable as hell.
I'm not a stoner. I'm not eating Doritos and drinking Mountain Dew over here. I'm doing radio. It requires actually what I do is I tip it back like you did in school on the two back legs.
And you did what your teacher always told you was gonna happen. You're gonna freaking fall.
Yeah. I do this all day. Like this is going to be my 5th hour of broadcast, 5.5 hours in total, 5 hours of broadcasting today because I did morning kick around, I did a radio show, and now I'm here with you. And yeah, I've been balancing all day. So yeah, that's why we changed it. That's why we changed it.
Doesn't hold us back, right?
Not anymore. We're not part of the Four Soccer Ventures family. We're not even part of the Kickback family, which is also what John. That's what John Parker's involved in. You don't know about this? Is Soccer Wise with Tom Bogert.
I don't know any of that stuff.
And Dave Gass. You're so out of it. You're just like, I'm just a regular Joe. I'm just a civilian.
Yeah.
I just do. So John Parker, after he left For Soccer Ventures, eventually in this past year, started a new media company. It's called
good for him, dude.
Kickback Soccer Media. And he signed up Tom Bogert and Dave Gass and old MLS crew gets together. The guys that used to be on Extra Time Radio get together and do stuff over there. I saw Bobby Warshaw was on one of their episodes. I just talked to him, had a conversation with him.
Well, shout out to John. Always liked working with him.
Bobby Warshaw. Yeah, it'd be nice if we could also get involved somehow, but we're over here doing our own thing.
Yeah, but then we have to edit like our openings and stuff. And
Jared just wants to be free balling all the time.
I am. That's how I live my life.
You're just over there. You're like, yeah, I don't want to have anything to do with it. Like,
can we talk about this for a second? This is too I had to wear underwear the other day.
No. Why?
Monday, 2 days ago. I was going to the dermatologist. And I had a little bit of a skin tag I wanted taken off, and it was down in the nether region, You
had a skin tag in your nether region? Wow.
Yeah.
We are old as fuck right now.
You don't get skin tags?
I have one little skin tag. It's in my armpit. No, I check. I'm always like double. I asked my wife, you look for this skin tag? No, I don't.
It was in what I call my leg pit. I don't know. What's the actual name for where you're
like your groin?
I guess I think of my groin going all the way down my thigh, but yeah, the leg pit.
The leg pit.
If this is an armpit, that's
so if New Jersey is the armpit of America, what's the leg pit of America? Like Texas, like down there by like El Paso and that area.
There's a part that kind of looks like Florida. So I guess
or is it inside the Gulf Coast?
What's exactly next to Florida? Louisiana or Mississippi?
You go Florida and then a little tiny bit of Alabama. And then Mississippi, and then Louisiana.
A little bit of Alabama, that's the leg pit.
The Dingleberry of Alabama is the leg pit.
So I had to have this looked at, right? I'm like, well, I can't let this guy know I go this is my dermatologist. I don't want him to think I didn't know if I was going to get the guy or the girl. And I was like, I didn't want to have to be like one layer of showing. So I actually wore some underwear and just so I could pull to the side and let him snip.
Is there a configuration? Is there a configuration?
Hold on. This is important from the chat. Spider Zlatan in the chat.
No.
Is that not the taint? No.
That's further undercarriage.
That's around the corner.
Yeah. You're talking about you're talking about more like the wheel well. Yeah. Right. That you're talking about wheel well, and that's more like where the drip pan is.
Yeah, there you go.
What I mean? Yeah, there's a difference between a wheel well and a drip pan.
You're a certain age, I guess I could call it a drip pan. Yeah.
Well, that's what we got to get to eventually. I just saw today, not soccer at all, but apparently
JTT just got here. JTT, don't worry, you didn't miss anything.
You didn't miss anything. I found out today because I follow this account that like tracks how college football programs spend their money or what money they get in, and they were like, "Oh, Deion Sanders, like the University of Colorado football program got $65,000 because Deion Sanders had the logo for an adult diaper on his person during games because the guy has incontinence issues. He's talked about it. He's not really.
I can't believe that's the one way Trump hasn't tried to make money.
Big bing. There we go. All right. Look, do we want to talk some soccer? We should talk some soccer, right?
I guess it's in the name.
It is MLS preseason. That's a thing. I talked to the new coach.
Is it Colorado Rapids everyone or just the CCL teams? Or sorry, CCC.
Oh, I think everybody's in preseason now.
Okay.
Because again, I talked to the head coach of the Colorado Rapids, a brand new 37-year-old head coach of the Colorado Rapids, Matt Wells. There's some news there. They sold Cole Bassett to Portland. That's weird.
Yeah.
But let's talk about Champions League. Happened today, the final day, the league phase of the Champions League. Again, this is the second year that they're doing this league phase. And it means we had 18 games kicking off simultaneously. So that's all 36 teams in action. Yep. Lots of Americans, a reasonable amount of Americans involved. The American that had the best day, undoubtedly Malik Tillman, who scored twice for Bayer Leverkusen.
Now, I didn't get a chance to see these highlights yet. I'm crazy busy during the day right now.
The first one is
how many games has he been back now?
So he's been back for a while. He hadn't scored since November.
Yeah.
So this had been a bit of a stretch.
But it injured for a good portion of that.
He'd missed some time with injury. They win 3-0 on the day. Grimaldo got another one. But the first one is basically like one of those, the goalkeeper's messing around with the ball. Let me close him down. The goalkeeper slams it into Malik Tillman 3 yards from goal, and it goes in the back of the net. That's how the first one happens. That one's not like, oh, what a great goal. But it's a confidence builder. Sure. It's important for Leverkusen. Absolutely. But it's not a goal that you go, oh, I'm writing that down for the World Cup roster. The second goal, however, absolutely is a goal that you take note of and go, oh, I'm writing that one down. Mauricio Pochettino's taking note of that one. That gets back to him because it is a goal scorer's goal. Like, it is a very nice
Describe
goal.
it for me.
He's sitting at the top of the box. There's a ball that's played in, headed back to him, strikes it.
Like half volley off the straight, just rolling on the ground.
Just a little bit of a bobble off the ground. I think there's one hop. Nope, hits it out of the air. Half volley.
No, full
really
volley.
Good finish.
Volley.
Yeah, well, the ball bounced before it came.
Well, then that's half volley. You said straight out of the air. Sorry.
No, well, okay. That's why I said half volley, because it bounced once, maybe 5 yards or so. It gets to him, and he scores that goal. So there's some, you could question the marking maybe from Villarreal, I guess.
You still have to execute though. You got to execute, and for a guy that maybe doesn't have confidence, maybe not a lot of games back on his engine, it's good to have something like this. It's going to elevate. You're doing right by the coach. You're helping your team secure a spot, because they ended up qualifying 16th out of 24 on 12 points. So only 3 points above the zone. It's a real compact field. From 16th to 24th, 3 points separate 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
If they had lost
teams.
the game, and it was Villarreal who's cooked, they were already done. They were not going to have a chance to move on. If Leverkusen loses the game, they're on 9 points, and they probably still get through because of goal difference, but it's dicey, and you don't know how that's going to go. So they needed the. Well, no, actually, they would have probably missed out, because their goal difference ended up being -1 despite winning 3-0 today. So they would have missed out. If they don't win that game, they probably finish below 24th, and they don't move on in the Champions League. So
because that ended up being the scenario for another American though, in Timothy Weah.
Yes, well, that was obviously a bad day in Belgium for Marseille. Did you hear what happened, by the way, today?
I know the scenario that sent them out. I know that Benfica had an amazing result at the 94th minute or something like that. I actually saw that highlight.
Yeah, no, it was 97th minute or something like that, even though there were only 5 minutes up on the board. So this is what's going down. As all these games are finishing up in Europe, the final day of the Champions League phase, Brugge is beating the pants off of Marseille, right? They're up 3-0, and Benfica is beating Real Madrid 3-2, but needs another goal to move past Marseille on goal difference. I think Paphos was actually also in for a possible advancement, which is insane. That's the little Cypriot team, I think.
Yeah.
So for some reason, Jose Mourinho is confused on the bench and starts putting in defenders. But Real Madrid had 2 players sent off.
That is Mourinho's just base want.
No, well, he did say he said after the game he thought they had done enough, and that's why he put defenders.
Well, what's interesting is that almost like in a World Cup or a number of different scenarios, you almost have to have one person on your staff managing this and nothing but this.
Absolutely. And this is only the second year of this format, so maybe they just don't have the reps to do it. But he said he thought they had done enough, so he's putting on defenders. Real Madrid has 2 players sent off in added time, so now Benfica has a man advantage. they have a 3-2 lead, but they get a free kick inside the Real Madrid half. And I guess at this point they understand, we need another goal. They push their goalkeeper up into the
Hold the keeper,
piece.
baby.
He goes up and he wins the header. He scores the goal. That puts Benfica through in 24th position. Now, just before this goal gets scored in Portugal, Brugge has beaten Marseille. Brugge's already through. Marseille sitting in 24th. Brugge, being the wonderful hosts that they are, maybe they serve them waffles and Belgian fries afterwards, I don't know, puts up on their big screen, "Congratulations, Marseille, on advancing in the Champions League."
You think it's a troll or it's an accident?
No, I think I think they were trying to be nice about it, and then the goal happens in Portugal and changes the complexion completely for Marseille.
Okay, so let's have a wider conversation about this. A lot of talk about the change to this format for the Champions League. Do moments like this justify the change? Because has there ever been a decision day like environment that's created as much excitement as this type of ending to the group phase?
I mean, things happened on the final day of or the final group.
I mean, so much so that
day.
The Great One himself can't even keep track of what's going on.
Yeah, I mean, I think that the difference is the pure volume here, because you never did the Champions League group stage all at the same time, right? There were 2 days, and you did have simultaneous kickoffs for the games in the group because you wanted not to give one team an advantage to know what result they needed and that kind of thing. Right?
Are you surprised at the parity at points wise? There literally the cut ended up being at the 24th position. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 teams at 9 points.
No.
2 made it, 3 don't.
No, I don't. Because it's only 8 games, right? If this was a real league and you were playing everybody, it wouldn't look like this. But it looks like this because you're only playing 8 teams. It's a random draw. I mean, there are pots, right? There are different groups. Like, you get a team from pot 1, a team from pot 2, a pot 3 and 4.
So what do you feel is the onus that Champions League has to put the best, most competitive environment out there, or to put the most entertaining product out there?
Yeah, that's a good question. It seems to me that public opinion, which is, I mean, my small sample size of it in the places that I collect it, whether that be on the radio, from people calling in or texting, or on social media from people I follow, who generally are either soccer professionals or people who work in adjacent businesses, they seem to like it. Like, it was entertaining. It delivered in that regard. Now, I do think the stakes are questionable, except at the very bottom. Like, obviously, for Bodo Glimt, who won today to get in, for Benfica, who won today to get in.
Well, let's talk about a couple teams that didn't. Napoli.
Yeah.
Not making
for those teams, it's real stakes.
PSV,
and
PSV, those semi-finalist.
So yeah, for those teams to be knocked out is notable, and there's stakes in the final day for them. But for example, Real Madrid went from 8 to 9. That means they'll play 2 extra games.
Yeah, extremely low stakes for some teams on this day, but extremely high stakes for others.
Yes.
It would be nice to see. I know that the top 8 positions are going to have seedings the next one, and Real Madrid missed out on a potential seeding, in the next round with this. So there was something at stake for them. We'll see how much that ends up playing into it. But this format also now has a Azerbaijani team.
Yeah, sure.
Going to the next round of the Champions League. So,
that is notable, yes.
And what can we take from this to the expanded field of the World Cup? Does results like this, is it equitable to kind of look at the World Cup and say, well, it's creating cool storylines in the Champions League by opening this up wider, having a different format?
This is the thing, though. Again, it's 8 games, which is 2 more than you played in the first phase of the old Champions League. It used to be 6, now you play 8. But it's still a small number of games, but it's still way more than 3, which is what you play in a group at the World Cup. So you're going to separate out the wheat from the chaff, the World Cup, much easier than you do over 8 games here, especially with travel and games coming in the league, and then in the Champions League, and then the league again, and clubs having to
in 2 weeks
juggle that. Yeah, I mean, there's lots of stuff here. It should be noted, Bodo Glimt, the Norwegian team that as of match day 6 had 3 points and was definitely going out. They beat Manchester City at home in Norway last week. and they beat Atletico Madrid at the Metropolitano today, which very much distressed me. But that means they ended up on 9 points and they get into the knockout phase. They are in their preseason, Jared. They haven't played a league match yet in 2026 because they follow a bit of the downside calendar.
This is a bit of the downside with this format as well. Those two teams had nothing to play for.
Well,
they knew they were advancing. Yes, they could go for a seed, in the next round, but
Atlanta could have maybe jumped into the top 8. That was something for them. Manchester City last week didn't know if they were going to definitely be top 8, and that set them up to be a little dicey for them this week.
I guess what it comes down to is getting a seed. I guess because it's still to know in such an early couple of uses of this format how much having a seed here really matters. We'll have to see how it shapes.
Well, the winner of the tournament last year is a team that missed out on the top 8 and had to play the knockout phase against they played Brest. PSG played Brest in the knockout phase and won 10-0 on aggregate, so it wasn't much of a challenge for them, but they did have to play those extra games.
But think of all the press jokes we got from the teams.
Real Madrid and Manchester City faced off in the knockout round last year because neither one of them made the top 8. So yeah, something.
Let's see. We'll reserve judgment, but listen, it made a cool storylines today. It made for some fun finishes today, and I think there is something to be said about there's elements of this that are enjoyable. I still think that there's creating a lot of games that don't matter, down the stretch. But I'll reserve judgment for a couple more years.
Yeah, we'll see. Only second year. Malik Tillman was the big star of the show for the Americans. Weston McKennie played. He's been on a good run, but
didn't score finally.
A goalless draw. They're the only goalless draw on the day, I think.
He's had 3 goals in 3 games, last 3 Champions League games. So it's unfortunate to see him not get one.
Neither he nor Valerian Balogun were excellent by any stretch. I mean, Balogun
he's been on a good run, though. He's allowed a bad game,
Weston is. By the way, the news on Weston out of Juventus is obviously we're still in this will he, won't he sign with Juve. His name has been connected to other clubs, including AC Milan, which would be
coach seems to love him, though.
Spalletti talked him up as a striker.
Yeah.
Says that he would make for a great striker. And you can see the skill set. Well, you could see the skill set that Spalletti
I think false 9 kind of striker, yes, because he's really good at one-touch passing, like with his back to goals. But I don't know about him being, I don't know. The hard part is that Wes McKennie's everything and nothing at the same time.
That's right. Yeah, that's exactly what he is.
You could make a case like he could make a good this, and I'd be like, yeah, I could see a version of that works for him, and that's a testament to him, not a knock, But I do think sometimes when you're not playing your best, a guy like that may get looked over by a coach, but when you're at your best, like he is right now, he looks essential to take.
Well, I think he's been very important. If you look at the way Juve plays, he's been very important because he can do things that a player who's normally lined up in that wing back position that he plays, or at least he starts in, can't do. Right?
Like I said before, the guy is the best one-touch passer the U.S. national team has. The best one-touch passer we have. And if you don't believe me, you're not watching Juventus games.
Yeah. I did not watch this game today. I was watching Galazzo, so I was trying to watch all the games today, if you know what I mean. I did watch a lot of the Napoli game that Juve won 3-0. And obviously McKennie did not score in that game, but you can see how important he is to the team in the way that he plays. He is all over the pitch. Like he starts out maybe as a wing back. In rest defense, in against the ball, he's nominally lined up on the right side defending. Now they play a 3-back system. He's not always in space having to defend 1v1, but he is doing some of that. But then he is pushing up and basically playing as a second striker, or he's finding space at the top of the box.
He gets there a bit late, but that's also the goal of that position, But he has a lot of freedom, and I'm trying to remember who his right back is. Is it Kalulu that's behind him?
That's there's a center back.
He does a lot of work for Wes McKennie. I mean, you've got to give him a lot of credit. He does a lot of work to give Wes McKennie that kind of freedom. But it is interesting that he is kind of that old school player that. There was like those Lothar Matthäuses. There's those players that didn't have a position. They just played. And while Weston McKennie has a side of the field he plays on, he really is free to kind of travel wherever he wants. And it's a very Italian mindset as well.
Yeah, I think there's something to that. I guess, again, nothing has to be decided now. And it doesn't look like
that's the hard part when you start talking about other teams he might go to. You don't know what position so you try to evaluate what this team needs or why a team would want to go after Weston McKennie. It's like, oh, where's their hole? Well, he can plug any hole in the damn field. So it's kind of hard to say if you hear that that Atalanta wants him or something like that. Like, why do they want him? You don't really know until you see him play his first game with a new team.
Yeah, there are rumors, if you read the Italian blogs and websites, that Milan has an interest in Weston McKennie. The way that this is Sempre Milan. Since his arrival at Juve, Spalletti has restored Kenny to a starting role from a simple wild card before the USA International has become a key pillar. Since the match against Cremonese, the first of the Spalletti era, McKennie has started every game, has only been subbed off 3 times.
Yeah.
And according to Calcio Mercato, McKennie's future at Juventus increasingly hinges on Spalletti's future at Juventus. So if Spalletti sticks around, then you can understand why Weston McKennie would stick around, because clearly Luciano Spalletti likes Weston McKennie. Yeah. But if you are at all worried that Juve is going to go out looking for another manager anytime soon, if you're Weston, and look, it's going well for them, and if they make the Champions League, I think Spalletti stays on. But you do have to worry a little bit about it. And Weston's also in this position with his contract up. If he goes and balls out at a home World Cup this summer, then he can probably have his pick of a number of top-level teams coming out of the tournament.
Do you think his situation is not solved before the start of the World Cup?
I think it's very possible.
That's a risky position to put yourself in.
It is, but it also if you back yourself, it can also be a big boost.
Yeah, you can say that, you can back yourself, but he's not Christian Pulisic. He doesn't have guaranteed minutes.
That is true. That is true. I mean, I don't know.
And here's the thing: Weston McKennie always has to win over every coach he's ever done. Maybe that's what Pochettino needs, is a long ramp up where they have a camp, a couple weeks, see them like week after week, day after day in those camps to really win him over. Because it doesn't look like Pochettino necessarily thinks that Weston McKennie is an essential part of his team. I think he plays him sometimes. He doesn't call him in other times, but I think maybe Weston McKennie needs those same minutes and those same reps with Pochettino, just like all these other coaches, to kind of win him over a little bit.
Maybe. The Milan website that says Milan has interest in McKennie says John McKennie, the player's father, said, I can say I've never seen, or I haven't seen Wes this happy in a long time. The coach has definitely made the difference. I don't always love Papa McKennie mixing it up on socials over.
Listen, there's been times where he's been divisive, but this is a guy just talking about a kid being happy. I don't think there's any problem
for
with
sure.
that.
No, there's nothing wrong with that.
This ain't Kaka's dad or something like that.
But you could argue. I mean, I don't really have a problem with it. But if you could argue that it actually kind of undercuts the leverage McKennie might have with Juve, right? To say, he's playing really well, but if it's like, oh, you really love being here.
I don't know, man. I don't want to live in a world where my dad can't say he's proud of me on the internet.
Well, he didn't say proud. He said he just
that he looks happy. Like
on the internet. You want your dad on the internet saying anything about you?
My dad didn't even get to see the internet, really. So I don't know.
I know. By the way, R.I.P. to Papa Rodius. But I mean, like
20 years next month. Wow,
that's wild, man.
Yeah.
My dad's still around. My dad is. Let's see. He'll be 69. 69 this year.
69, dude.
Yeah, 69. He'll be 69. I do not want him. Like, I haven't seen Jason this happy. It's definitely Sirius XMFC or the best soccer show that's making the difference. Like, I don't want him doing that. That sounds so weird to me.
Okay.
I don't know, man. All right. Ricardo Pepi, he's injured. He did a horrific thing, or had a horrific injury happen to him, but that doesn't mean that the transfer rumors have slowed down, Jared.
Are you surprised by that? Are you surprised that things haven't cooled given the fact he's injured right now?
It is. I thought probably this would mean pushing it back to the summer.
Me too.
But that doesn't seem to be the case. And now the bid is up to what, 40 million?
I thought it said 38, 40, somewhere in there. Yeah.
Now, apparently Fulham's not the only London club sniffing around Ricardo Pepi, unless you want to buy that this is probably agents pushing narratives,
Who else?
prices and things of that nature. Ricardo Pepi at Fulham. I mean, I can think of worse players to learn from.
You said there's another London Cup team. Who's the other London team?
I'll get to that in a second. But I can think of worse players to learn from if you're Ricardo Pepi than Raul Jimenez, who I think is very, very talented. Obviously, had to come back from his horrific head injury thing and all that stuff, but it's been good for Fulham this year. There's a story over at onefootball.com that says West Ham want Ricardo Pepi.
And what's West Ham?
I would say I would rather Ricardo Pepi play in the Finnish league than play at West Ham United.
West Ham 18th in the drop.
I would rather Ricardo Pepi never kick a soccer ball again than have to play at West Ham United.
You don't like?
I would rather. West Ham is trash. That is a cesspool.
He'll play though, probably. He'll probably play.
I
mean, if you go to Fulham, is he playing over Raul Jimenez? Even if he was healthy?
But they need somebody to step in and spell Jimenez. That's exactly the problem that they have. They don't have anybody they can trust. Right? So, and by the way, West Ham, which is a good point, just signed Tati Castellanos, who I think they like, has made a difference to them because he brings so much energy at the front of the formation. He's an incredible presser as a striker, which he was doing in MLS with NYCFC.
But for Americans though,
Rodrigo Muniz is hurt, and I think Ricardo Pepi would be second choice over Rodrigo Muniz. So why wouldn't you take a shot?
For American fans though, Fulham is such a soft, warm landing spot because Fulham has been so good to so many Americans. It's almost like, is it too easy for us, or is it like just the team that all Americans kind of go to? But they've also done so well by us. You know, they've given Americans chances. They seem to value what we bring over there. So yeah, I think it's a good landing spot for him in terms of elevating his level of play, going someplace where he'll have a little bit of leash, and he won't have to be the guy right out the box either. You know, he'll have some opportunity to kind of find his way. And I mean, listen, he may be the only American at Fulham by the end of this transfer season. I don't know. We'll see if he joins, because rumors are Liverpool's interested in Jedi Robinson.
Yeah, well, they kept Andy Robertson, which
but they said that they think they can play them both. That there's a place a rotation for both of them. But if you're Jedi, do you want to go be part of a rotation at a Liverpool, which is only one spot above them in the Premier League right now, by the way? You know, it's not like Liverpool's title contender right this second.
No. But it's still a giant club. It's a giant club. I mean, they finished third in the Champions League standings.
Do you think Fulham has the money to go after Pepi if they don't finalize the sale for Jedi Robinson?
Do they have the money? Yes. Will they spend the money? That's a different question. They're not poor. They just don't spend like a lot of English clubs. I mean, relative to a club like PSV Eindhoven, they're uber rich. You know, they're rolling in it. They're Scrooge McDuck. But I do understand that it's not easy for Fulham to just say, let's spend 30 million pounds. Like it's nothing.
Yeah.
So there's that. I mean, I don't know enough about Jedi Robinson's potential move to know if this is a sell to buy situation for Fulham. And I think losing Jedi Robinson, I mean, he missed a bunch of time, and obviously they sort of managed without him, but he can be a difference maker rather than just sort of fill in at left back for this team. So
by the way,
go ahead.
Credit to a bit of applause for Ernie Stewart if this goes down. I mean, Ernie Stewart, do you remember what he bought Ricardo Pepi for?
No, dimes?
Take a guess.
I don't know.
9 million euros.
Nine from
Augsburg.
Remember, he went for $20 million to Augsburg, which I'm going to guess was.
I mean, what a bit of business by Ernie Stewart. I mean,
17 million euros.
If you buy him for 9 and 2 years later, is it 2 or 3 years later, potentially selling for $40 million and got a Champions League semifinal with it as well.
This is an interesting part of this whole thing, because I saw our friend Charlie Boom putting up on Blue Sky, like, where all the people who are saying that Augsburg dramatically overpaid for Ricardo Pepi now, when Fulham is about to offer 30 million pounds, 40 million bucks for that player. Like, the idea that there was some money laundering or something going on at the time when Ricardo Pepi left FC Dallas to go to Augsburg. And I love Charlie. I don't think Charlie knows his shit, so I'm not doubting. I'm not saying
Sounds like it.
He's a dummy or something. I just think you absolutely can argue that Ricardo Pepi wasn't worth what Augsburg paid at the time then, but was still a prospect worth spending something on.
I think Augsburg fell victim to the fact that they made a early bid for a long-term run at Ricardo Pepi, but their standing in the Bundesliga couldn't give them the opportunity to see it through.
They were a relegation-threatened Bundesliga club, and he was their record signing. Like that is a combination of factors for a 19-year-old American or whatever he was at the time.
That's a club that doesn't have the privilege of giving you time.
No, absolutely not. And as soon as things were dicey, what is it when things are dicey and you might be going down? Does a manager look down the bench and go, "Give me the 19-year-old"? Not unless you're Barcelona and you're never going to.
Let's also remember too, Ricardo Pepi. You're buying a guy that's never been a starter for PSV. Like he's never been a consistent starter for PSV.
That is a fair statement. I think that the idea
he couldn't displace a 34-year-old striker.
Well, yeah. Luke de Jong was the guy that he had to knock off the perch. I mean, again, injuries have been a thing for Ricardo Pepi, which is again why it maybe is a questionable buy for Fulham if you think that he's somehow injury prone. Although again, that last one is a freak injury.
I mean, still young. Was he 23 at this point? What is Ricardo Pepi?
That's a good. It feels like he's been around forever, right? But our guy Ricardo
23,
Pepi,
just turned. So
23 years.
Ton of upside still. And
happy belated birthday to our guy Ricardo Pepi. He's still got a couple months on the recovery from the arm injury. So if you're buying him now, are you buying? Is that because you think he's going to gain value if he makes the World Cup squad? So you're buying low? Is that the idea if you're Fulham?
I think there's a chance there. I mean, it could also be. I would say when it first came out, thinking like, okay, you do want some depth position for Jimenez, but you're not going to get him anytime soon. So I'm not sure.
Yeah, and again, but man, there's a lot of reasons why I like it. I know some of that is based on my bias. I've been a fan of Ricardo Pepi for a long time, and I think I made this prediction on this show that I said that Ricardo, and I might have even said I might even put a timeline on it. I can't remember how long ago it was, maybe 2 years ago or something. I said in the next 3 years, Ricardo Pepi will score 20 goals in a major European league. Now, he's not yet in the major European league, and my time might be ticking, and who knows, he's not going to have time this season to do it at Fulham, so it'd have to be next year to see that come to fruition. But I think he's got that level of talent. Like, I really do.
Pepi's strike rate in the PSV, given the fact he's had such limited minutes, I mean, he's 26 goals in 60 games. He's strike rate's almost a goal every 2 games, and that's with him playing 20 to 30 minutes per game.
Yeah. No. And that's obviously what makes him attractive to a club like Fulham.
This is also the Eredivisie. I mean, it is the most bipolar league of anything when it comes to strikers, because for every Zlatan and Luis Suarez that comes out of there, you have a Santi Jimenez. You have Josie Altidore. You have these players that when they've gone and done that next step after the Eredivisie, you say, this is why it gets the moniker of it's where strikers look good. The Eredivisie is very, very good for strikers, but not everyone is Zlatan and Suarez when they come out of there.
No, that's true. That's true. I'm hoping that Fulham's got some, a scouting department and analytics and things like that can tell them how he translates, right? And there again. I think the guy has mostly scored wherever he's been post Augsburg.
Yeah.
Like anytime he's gotten an opportunity, he scored goals. And that consistency.
Listen, I hope he's back soon. I don't know what the prognosis is on his return to play. Obviously, being armed, there's no reason why he can't be somewhat fit by the time he's ready and cleared to play. But he still has to get that touch. I would imagine he's probably got at least another 6 weeks or so. I mean, did he have surgery on the break?
March is what the current prognosis is.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It could be earlier, could be longer. I think there's really no argument that if he's healthy, Ricardo Pepi is probably on the World Cup team based on our current understanding of how Pochettino views his team. But I also rate him. Now, maybe not everybody rates him at that level. I mean, I don't know who you would have.
At this rate, Ajamong is giving him a run for his money. I did not think I'd say that 4 months ago, 3 months ago. Ajamong is performing in the championship right now.
Yeah. And my argument for why it's Ajamong as a third guy over, say, a Haji Wright or Josh Sargent, who seems to be out of the picture with his drama at Norwich.
What's that?
Because he's an X factor, because he's unpredictable, because he doesn't play like anybody else. He doesn't play like somebody he doesn't do things you would expect because he doesn't have enough time under his belt.
I get that.
Trained guys do.
I get that, but third choice striker is going to be used as a sub most likely, right?
Sure.
Who has had the best track record as a sub other than Ricardo Pepi?
I
mean, his whole career is based on being a sub, and with the national team, even how many times did he come off the bench and scored? Even with the national team, like he is a proven striker, and from a substitute position, which is what that third striker is going to be. So I understand you're not wrong for the reasons why you may rate Agyemang and for that position, but in terms of this is what he does, Ricardo Pepi may be the better choice.
No, sure, but I have Pepi as my 2, so I have him there with me. And then if I need a change of pace, then a different kind of player, it's Agyemang. Because you think about the way that Pepi plays, you think the way the Balogun plays. Neither one of them are overly physical players. And Agyemang, so would
your striker pool right now be Balogun, Pepi, Agyemang, assuming health rise for Pepi?
That's my current lean. Lots of people would have Haji Wright ahead of Agyemang.
Yeah, Haji Wright's cooled off though over the last few months.
If you rate form as an important part of this, and maybe Haji doesn't make it,
how important? So would you rather have a versatile, like beast of an athlete in someone like Agyemang, or a person that can play wide and inside in Haji Wright?
Yeah, but if it's a bigger roster, you're going to have options wide, or you should. You should be able to bring options. You can bring an Aronson, you can bring in Zendejas. You're going to have Pulisic. You're going to have even a Malik Tillman can play out there if he needs to. Tim Weah can obviously play out there if he needs to. Clearly, I think Diego Luna can do it too if necessary. It's a different kind of approach. But
it's a fortunate time right now for the MLS guys like Diego Luna. He's just not on our radar at all. Because of the break, so it's weird to hear you say his name. You say his name, I'm like, Diego Luna. I haven't even thought about him, but there's a reason for it. He hasn't been playing,
Yeah, and this is interesting because Jeff Carlisle, friend of the show, just dropped his big board 4.0 roster coming into focus over at ESPN. This dropped last week.
That last time we did a whole breakdown on it. We should have done that.
Yeah, it's last week that he dropped the 4.0, and I was just looking at this the other day, and he, things may have changed. But he has Gio Reyna on his roster, and I just cannot.
It's just so hard because judging on his national team contribution in December, we were saying, "Hey, he still looks like a lock again." Now he's not playing, and he's got a soft muscle thing going on again with injury, and he's out this last weekend. So I don't know, man. He is he's the biggest enigma in U.S. soccer since John O'Brien, probably. And in John O'Brien, it was more like just straight injury wise, but I mean, we're on the precipice of sometimes saying like this is the biggest loss of a generation.
Yeah, I mean, he may become the guy that overtakes. John O'Brien had a World Cup and played very well and did a lot of really good things, so it's hard to put him in that category. But we talk about Stu Holden. We talk about, who else is on that list? I guess. I mean, you could argue Josie's kind of on that list, to be honest with you, because of the injury that took him out of 2014.
Back, obviously, I'm an old head, and I say this name a lot, and I overrate him. But Chris Armas, for me, never got the chance to do what he was going to do, and this
is a really rough comparison from Jackie. It's a really rough comparison.
Injuries are not what held Freddie Adu back.
No.
There's a little bit of that in for Gio Reyna, though, because it's not all injuries with him.
No, but pumping his head up real big probably is about the same thing as happened to Freddie. I'd say that.
Yeah.
I'd say that. I know Josie has the third most goals in U.S. men's national team history. I'm just saying his impact on the big tournaments.
Throw a Charlie Davies out there again, a little bit different scenario there.
Different. But in terms of what could have been, absolutely he's on the list of what could have been. It has to be, I think.
That Confederations Cup in 2009 was so good.
Now, we don't know if Ricardo Pepi is going anywhere from PSV to perhaps Fulham or West Ham. Please no. But we do know that Freeman is leaving Orlando and has signed with Villarreal. This kind of came, I don't know, nowhere is the right word, but I don't know that we had like a build up to this. Like Alex Freeman, his star turn, his glow up, pretty quick. Pretty quick when you think about it. He went from kind of like, oh, he's a really nice MLS player, to getting national team looks, to, he's going to Villarreal.
What do you think, if any, what is a European general manager? What are their thoughts when is it impressive or not impressive when they hear this is the son of an NFL player?
I think they immediately go, stock? He's an athlete. Yeah, absolutely. I think it matters. I think they think of that the same way you would think of a coach's son. He's going to have good habits because he's learned them from his dad, right? He's going to have an understanding what it takes to be a pro athlete, and even if they don't appreciate necessarily what American it means to be a football player,
of American sports, you, sir, are you are the general manager of Liverpool. Okay, of the American sports, not a good choice. Never mind, they're invested in American sports. You are the general manager of Real Betis. Okay.
Yep.
And what is the ranking of American sports that are impressive for you before sight unseen you see a player? This is a son of a blank. NFL, NBA, Major League Baseball, NHL. What is the hierarchy of what you're impressed by before you even see the player?
I would think, man, it's an interesting question. I would think baseball's.
I don't know if it's
baseball's
right.
At the bottom. Baseball's at the bottom.
Agreed, unless they're a keeper.
Unless they're a what?
Keeper.
Oh, a keeper, because maybe. I mean, Matt Turner's a baseball player. He's a really good athlete. Does that do anything for him in terms of his perception as a goalkeeper? No, I don't know. He didn't go pro or anything. I just know he can, stroke a little bit. I would put baseball down at the bottom. I would put probably hockey, just because I think it'd be a little too foreign. Well, that's not true. They play a lot of it in Europe.
You put it at the bottom.
You have to be a really good athlete. You have to have incredible endurance to play hockey, but you don't. It's a different kind of thing.
I'll go with basketball. Because here's the thing, with NFL, this could be a 300-pound man.
Sure. Yeah. Well, hold on. You're not looking at a player who's 300 pounds, regardless of what his family's background is.
I'm just saying, in terms of being impressed by the fact their parent was in the NFL.
No, I'm saying, but if you have a player who is 6 feet 185 or 165, because he's a soccer player, 6 feet 165, and you find out his dad was an NFL player, then that's going to be impressive to you for sure. Now, if you find out his player was an NBA player, yes, that's probably top. That's probably number one NBA.
I think the NBA player is the closest to the prototypical. I mean, not size-wise, but in terms of being lean, athletic. Sure. I think, and also the NBA and NHL for this matter, the half-court set is almost the same as the soccer half-court set. When you play, in terms of how you move the ball around the perimeter, how you try to find entry passes. Like the NBA and soccer are so much alike when you watch it from afar, like a 10,000 level view, and you're just kind of looking down on it. But yeah, I would say, I think most coaches would be most impressed by an NBA parent lineage. But I don't know, just a weird conversation to have. I never really thought about it before.
I think that's probably right. All right, so
Alex Freeman did play hockey, but I don't think it was at the semi-pro level, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, it's Canadian, so he definitely played some hockey. I know that. So Alex Freeman goes to Villarreal. I think it's notable that Villarreal has 2 Canadians, which means they clearly have an eye on CONCACAF. Tani Oluwaseyi and Tejan Buchanan both play for Villarreal.
Over there.
Yes, and they're both doing very well.
Villarreal in Champions League contention right now.
Yeah, they're doing well in the league. They're bombing out of the Champions League.
No, I mean they're in 4th place in the league right now, so they're in a Champions League spot currently.
They're in a Champions League spot, but
it's not like they're buying him to be a relegation battle or anything like that.
No. It might say something about his playing time and how difficult it might be to break.
Man, you think he gets this move if he didn't have that 2-goal game where he just looked like a stunner? That thing put on the radar of some teams. You got to think he got him on the radar.
That's a good question. It's a good question. I don't know. It's a leap because it's La Liga. This isn't George Bello or something, right?
This is why you get the games against the Uruguays and stuff like that. Like, you're going to be in front of eyeballs that if you were playing Grenada that game, you're probably not going to get seen. So to ball out like that in Uruguay, with that scoreline already captured the world's attention.
I think it's a really good piece of business for Orlando.
Yeah. Like, what was the fee?
It's $4 million. It could go up to 6.5 with incentives.
That feels a little bit low. I'm not going to lie.
You think it's low?
Man,
really?
You're going to say 6.
They have a 15% sell-on clause.
50%?
15%.
15.
He's 21, right? I don't know. Maybe this. I do think the argument could be that if he was Brazilian or Argentine or
just
else.
for comparison, let me see. What did Tejan Buchanan go for?
Dejan Buchanan's deal sent him to Inter. Is that right? Is that who bought him? Was it Inter Milan who bought him?
Let me see here.
He's at Villarreal
Inter Milan
now.
bought him. So let's see. He went to Bruges first. I didn't realize that.
Oh, is that where he was at first? Okay, so
3.5 year with Bruges, the $7 million transfer fee.
Yeah,
the 7 for Tejan Buchanan. No, I think Tejan Buchanan more offensive player, and than Alex Friedman. But yeah, that's interesting. And that was a couple years back. He went for $7 million.
Some notes that Alex Friedman's contract was running down, so that may be part of the story in terms of the fee, right? Because you're not going to get as much money for a guy whose contract's going to run out in a year or whatever it is. But he is 21, gives him a chance to build. Do you think this helps or hurts his World Cup chances?
I think it can only help. I mean, even if he doesn't play much, I mean, I think Pochettino is going to be understanding that he's going to have to find his footing in that team over the next few weeks. I don't think he could have done more to impress and insert his name into the conversation. Can't see how he could do anything in the last couple months after taking the leap and risk of trying to elevate himself and challenge himself. I think there's going to be a level of respect from Pochettino, just the fact that he's doing that's going to buy him the amount of time between now and the World Cup.
You think Pochettino had any role to play in this sale?
That's a good call. I mean, I think a team would be crazy not to touch base with him if, I think so. I mean, whether it's his tacit approval by playing him as much as he has, or a more integral part of actually having a conversation, I think that there's no doubt. I think every American player that's playing under Pochettino is getting some level of proximity bump, just by getting his stamp of approval by playing them.
Yeah, that's probably fair. I think that's probably right. We are still a month away from there being a team to talk about in regards to the friendlies that are coming up against Belgium and Portugal. But Mauricio Pochettino will be talking to the media tomorrow. Actually, those games are late March, so we're not even looking at a team being named for another month and a half. This is interesting why they're doing it now, but I got the media notice this morning. So he will be speaking to the media via teleconference 2:30 p.m. Eastern time tomorrow.
No tease of the John Tannenwald did not get an invite. Is that what's happening getting here? He says the media, you say.
Oh. Yeah, the
but don't they usually put what is the subject is going to be to a little bit to
USMNT head coach Mauricio Pochettino available to speak to the media on Thursday, January 29th at 2:30 p.m. Eastern at start of World Cup year and ahead of upcoming matches against Belgium and Portugal.
Man, I would understand if it was January 3rd and we were having this, but to January 28th randomly.
Of course, JTT got the. What are you talking about? He's going to be
up there, dude.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was looking at the actual invite that I got because I'm media.
Big J.
Yeah, this is why it's weird, right? No subject. It might just be to drum up some publicity. They've got these games in Atlanta, right? Both these games against Belgium and Portugal will be in Atlanta, March 28th against.
I actually like Belgium. That. I like the idea of them not having to lose a day of training and getting together just to travel. I like the idea of having it there the whole time.
That's fine, but maybe this is an indication that they need people to start buying tickets for the Atlanta games. I don't. Maybe
I imagine they're doing better than they were before. They put a hell of a run together to close out 2025. I don't think the needle's been higher in the last 3 years in terms of positivity.
Well, look, this is obviously it's just a smart thing to do.
Kit drop.
What'd you say?
Could it be a kit drop?
Could be. I don't think they would do it with Poach. Would they? They not announce we have a big announcement.
Other teams are starting to leak theirs right now and put them out there.
Ours is leaked.
I know, but is it official? Have they officially said it's them?
No, it's not official yet. Not that I'm aware of. Although sometimes you hear something and then you're like, oh, that's done. And then you find out it wasn't official. And then, oh, whoops. Didn't know it wasn't. Portugal game's close to a sellout. There's going to be lots of Portuguese soccer fans in Atlanta to watch that game. A buddy of mine from Rhode Island, Portuguese background, he and his brother are going to be there in Atlanta, and they won't be rooting for the U.S. men's national team. I can tell you that.
Yeah, that's fine. I'm fine with that. It's a great level of competition. Again, better.
It's just worth talking to the media in a World Cup year when you got the World Cup on home soil. Yeah.
I guess maybe it's just the fact that you don't want to be that far, that absent for such a long period of time with the holidays behind us, stuff like that. You just want to start, especially the World Cup year. You want to start kickstarting the engine.
I know it's not going to come up tomorrow.
What do you want JTT to ask?
What should we need suggestions. What should Jonathan Taylor Tannenwald ask Mauricio Pochettino?
John, don't tell us what it is, but do you have your question already locked and loaded?
Have you found an American lemon that you believe is the best lemon to bring good vibes to the U.S. men's national team?
I think the question should be, Pochettino, as a former European coach, what American sport if their parents played it would most be impressive to you?
Right, exactly. Yes. If you were recruiting players for your club, which American sport would be the most impressive to have a player's parent have played?
He's gonna say some weird shit that we wouldn't even be thinking about.
Can JTT can you commit now to asking your question in Spanish, John, or no? Just okay. You know what? He won't, because I know we talked about this last week. Mauricio Pochettino spent some time in Paris. Does he speak French? I don't know. And I know
what John's going to ask. French. I already know what JTT is going to ask.
What's that?
A Brendan Aronson based question about his time in his Foreman leagues. Don't act like John. I know it is. Don't even say it isn't in the chat. I know that's what your question is going to be.
I mean, it could be that. Ask it in Portuguese. Does anybody speak Portuguese? I don't know. Does Mauricio Pochettino speak Portuguese?
I can say linguiça.
I don't know.
He says I'm wrong. Yeah, right. We'll see tomorrow when it's your turn, Mr. Tannenwald.
That is, I actually was talking to my wife about this, right? Huh. And I'll pull back the curtain of Jason.
You're talking about JTT. Wow, sexy.
I was talking about, what'd you say? Longaniza? What was that?
Oh, linguiça.
Linguiça. Well, I don't know what that is.
It's a Portuguese sausage.
Longaniza is a sausage in Puerto Rico, so that's why I said longaniza. Huh? Yeah, look at that. I was talking to my wife about this. I've been in those press conferences, I've been in those video conferences, and I've heard American reporters ask Mauricio Pochettino questions in Spanish, who are clearly English or Spanish as a second language, right? They're ESL, but their Espanol is second language, not English. And one of them is Charlie Boehm. I've heard Charlie Boehm ask a question of Mauricio Pochettino.
My man is worldly.
In Espanol. And I'm like jealous of the balls it takes to do that.
It's a good move. I'm going to tell you why. By asking the question in Spanish, whether your Spanish is great or not, you're asking for him to answer in the language he's most comfortable
in. And he's going to be clearer in that language. I agree with that. But that's the thing. Like, I understand the
raise your game up, John.
I understand the utility of it. I'm like, and I even texted Charlie Boehm afterwards. I was like, dude, I'm very impressed that you dropped Espanol on him. Because I just get like even with my wife's family who I know and I feel comfortable with and who know me and know that, like, first of all, I can speak some Spanish, and number two, aren't going to judge me if I say something wrong. I still get
I feel like every time I see Chucky Boom Boom's like Instagram, he's traveling somewhere.
He's a very busy man, that Chucky Boom Boom. He's busy. He's good. It's good. I hope he's got lots of things happening for the World Cup. Like, we need
I might be going to Indiana in 2 weeks.
Shout out. Sorry.
That's what I do all the time, and you give me shit for it.
Shout out to the Guardian. Shout out to Alexander Abdos.
Oh, for picking up Pablo?
Signing up Pablo Maurer. Signing up Jeff Reuter. I think I'm missing somebody as well.
There was a woman as well, right? Didn't they pick up a lady as well?
Oh, yeah, they picked up
Megan.
John Tannenwald is going to help me here. John Tannenwald is going to help. Ella Brockway also signed up with the Guardian. So shout out to her. She was formerly at the Washington Post, and now she's on the Guardian's beat. With the World Cup coming, and we like that, right? We like
hopefully he's giving the
American writers.
He does,
Yeah. Do you think this is true? if you say it in Spanish, bad Spanish or second language Spanish, it comes off like you're insulting his English. You think it comes I mean, no, I don't think he would do that at all. I think that's a good guy.
I think he'd respect the effort.
Yeah. All right. Patreon.com/the best soccer show for all your bonus needs, for your Slack needs. People are working through some stuff over there. This is what I was going to throw in at the end. We don't have to open this up big time, but there is a simmer happening around the World Cup boycott idea. Now,
I think 70,000 tickets have been canceled in the last couple weeks.
I'm not sure about the veracity of all of that. I think it's really hard to know. FIFA is shady with their numbers, but I even think that those numbers could be ginned up by accounts who want to inflame things around the World Cup. And my wife came to me, my wife is not a soccer person, but she came to me like, look, people are canceling their tickets. And I'm like, let's not get ahead of ourselves here. I don't know. So we got a German football executive, but he's the executive of St. Pauli, which is a far left leaning club, who says people should boycott the World Cup, or Germany should boycott the World Cup. And there are obviously different prongs to this. There's a nation boycott, which is a massive thing, which is a big lift and tough to imagine happening. There's a player boycott, which I think is also almost impossible to imagine. There is a fan boycott, which is a different thing and only works if it is almost universal, or a very significant number of people who would be buying tickets don't buy tickets. I mean, the stadiums are not even close to filled. And man, I just don't know. What is
the number one team that would have to pull out that has the most leverage? If this team pulled out, that would mean the most.
I think it's probably Argentina, just because of the champs and they got the greatest player any of us have seen.
Plus, we just gave them $80 billion. They better not pull out.
I mean, there's that too. Like, can you imagine their president's leaning on their FA to never? They wouldn't. They are a Catholic country.
All right, let me do a little pick your poison then.
It's a good joke. Just missed it.
Sorry, I talked over it. My bad.
It's okay. I'm not going to say it again.
Two countries. You tell me which one has the most sway. Okay. Hold on.
He's dying, everybody.
Yeah. Well, I just wanted to have the list of all the teams kind of in front of me.
We know the big ones that are there. Go ahead.
Japan or Australia?
Japan. More economic power.
And I don't even know that you have to say why. I think you can if you want, but
sure.
Belgium or Switzerland?
I would say Switzerland, but it's by a hair. They don't really have a good reason.
But they're supposed to be neutral anyway, right?
I know, right?
But they also are one of the economic powerhouses of the world.
It's a lot of chocolate.
Portugal,
watches,
or Spain?
Spain, for sure. Bigger country, much more economic power, more sway in Europe
right now.
Yeah. And that's
not necessarily the same. Spain or Brazil?
Actually, this is a really good point from JTT. Switzerland, because FIFA's headquartered in Switzerland. So, of course, yeah, that's a good one.
Spain or Brazil?
And Johnny is Swiss.
The number one team right now versus the classic number one team.
Ooh, man. Brazil is so powerful symbolically that I think it's probably Brazil. It's gotta be Brazil. I mean,
the number one team in the world, yet still Brazil. Brazil or Germany, one of our greatest allies.
Germany for the football, but Germany for the economics, Germany for the political power, Germany for their role in Europe, Germany for the fact that they right now are fighting off fascism in their own country.
Yeah. The last one, Germany or England?
I think England is kind of a joke. On the field, though, they're really good, and people are picking them to win the World Cup, and they have some of the most famous players in the world. Man, I think it's probably England right now because their
name power is big.
To be better. Yeah,
the name power is big.
It's close, man.
I said none of those answers there's no clear cut, but I'm just wondering, like, if that was to happen, like, what would be the team that would really be the one that cracks the dam?
Yeah, but this is also like it's moving outside the soccer bubble a little bit, which I think is interesting. And I'm not saying I think anything is going to happen, but I've seen people who are more interested in the political side of life in America, not the soccer side, talk about a World Cup boycott. But the idea that a World Cup boycott really does anything significant to Trump or to the administration or to anything that's happening here.
There's a lot of money to be made.
I think that's a pipe dream. I just don't think they give a shit. I really don't. I don't think it matters. Look, what matters right now is people like Kristi Noem and Stephen Miller, at least in terms of the actions that are happening in Minnesota and things like that, being kicked out of government.
Minneapolis a host city?
No.
Okay. Just wondered.
No. If they went to a host city, that would start a conversation. I mean, if they went to a host city the way they're in Minneapolis, they obviously are in host cities, just not like they are in Minneapolis. So yeah, man, just something to mention.
Yeah. No reason.
For anybody who has any concerns about or any delusions, this is absolutely a Fuck Ice podcast. Okay, I just want to make that very clear.
Oh,
I
can change my tag on my name to say it if you want.
If you are listening to this,
all the more reason why we can't have a bigger network pushing.
If you're listening to this and you're like, I just wanted to talk about soccer, I'm sorry that it seems impossible right now to just talk about soccer when we're watching what we're watching and what's happening to our friends, like to friends of mine who are involved heavily in what's going on in Minnesota right now. So, and again, I'm involved in my world beyond this soccer stuff. So anyway, I just wanted to say that we had a comment on the Spotify show last week or the other week. Somebody didn't like us.
Sorry.
Somebody we had a bout of TDS over here.
Hey, listen, I'm sure there's a show hosted by a very large name in the soccer world that you could listen to and be more for you.
Does it rhyme with Balexi Ballis?
I wouldn't know.
Oh, you don't? You wouldn't know? All right. Look, I don't even know if those other shows, anybody else is doing any of this or talking about it. And I really don't care because I'm going to feel better about me and my place in the world and my responsibility to my fellow Americans and fellow citizens and fellow human beings, regardless of where they're from and their legal status, if I say something. So there we go. Anything else, Mr. Dubois?
That's it, baby.
That's it. He showed up and we did a show and now we're out of here. So thank you very much. We'll talk to you guys next week, maybe, possibly. Bye.
The best.
Only the best.
Damn, dog, that's in a post.
Get to the chopper! WNBC. WNBC.
Take us to DEFCON 3.
What's that for? Here we go, saucing them up. Hit them, what?
The Sausage King of Chicago.
Calm down, Greg, it's soccer. It's soccer.
Danger Zone!